to share something with you that might put me in a very negative light. Yeah.
Relationships are not my forte.
See if someone grabbed up my wife or something completely different ballgame.
I'll walk away from here, and this has been like a therapy session.
Yeah.
Andrew McCART, IFL TV, proudly sponsored by Everlast. I'm with the man himself, Sam Jones. Sam, I watched your podcast yesterday. You called for the fight to be postponed. I got an email 10 minutes ago saying to postpone the fight. You were right. Just give me your initial thoughts, though, when you first heard the news.
It's not about being wrong or right, is there, Andy? There was only one thing that you can do in a situation like this, and that's call the fight off. Nobody wants to see a fight like that called off, not just because of, number one, how big, for a casual perspective, like people that like don't really watch boxing, but it's captivated the imagination of everybody this fight has. But people forget there's an undercard there as well, that these people aren't going to get paid, and it kind of just puts boxing into perspective because no fight, no pay. So I'm gutted for everybody on the undercard as well as EUBANK Junior.
I mean, like I said, yes, you said the fight should be postponed. It has been postponed because we need to wait for you said it as well, the B sample and that. And
I didn't necessarily, because this is what people getting twisted, Andy. The B sample is the same as the A sample.
Yes, yeah.
I've been around camps like flipping Golovkin, Linares. I'm not going to start flipping going and look at these people I've been with and all that. But I've been around people that get piss tests regularly. Joe Joyce, like I've seen dopers come around to follow Joe all over the world. And when you give a sample, you piss into a cup and the A goes in there and the B goes in there. So it's the same piss, Andy. Do you know what I mean? Like, excuse me, urine. Urine. Talking in layman's terms here, but like, yeah, it's not hard. So the A and the B sample. So it was not just that. Me yesterday, Andy, it's very difficult to give you reactions because I'm not like an overly intelligent man that's like academically great or anything like that. But it's hard to give a reaction sometimes when news is fresh because I don't want to see Conor Benn fail drug tests. Like I want, like he's like, we've all seen the rise of Conor Benn. Yeah, we've all seen the rise of him. Like we remember watching him at York Hall struggle with Cedric Payno. Do you understand what I mean? It like having a life and death with him. And then obviously since then, I think he had a bit of time out. Then he's came back and his career's gone, his trajectory has gone up. Like, okay, albeit he's not really fought don't want to say a live opponent, but he's not, he's looked spectacular ever since. Yeah, he's looked spectacular ever since. So we've all kind of, I was the first one to always say, listen, I want to see him in a real fight. And like I've become a fan. I've become a fan of his. And when I'm listening to thinking and seeing this news, I don't really want to think that he's cheated. Do you understand what I mean? Yeah, so that's what I mean. Yeah. And when the event is still going ahead, like what I said yesterday on my podcast, if Conor Benn got in the ring and beat Chris Eubank, yeah, in whatever fashion, if it was spectacular fashion or it was a 12-round war, he's going to get no credit for it. He's just going to get called a drug cheat. And I would think that if I was Conor Benn or I was advising Conor Benn, I'd be like, let's get this situation resolved first before we go into this fight. But there's no way that fight could have happened from a moral standpoint. It just couldn't. Like, I'm a hypocrite. We're all hypocrites, Andy, because you would have watched the fight, I would have paid for the fucking fight, and everybody would have paid for the fight. All these reporters saying, it has to be called off morally. It has to, like we're all the same. Like morally, that's the correct thing to do. But we're all fucking hypocrites because we're all gonna tune in and watch the fight. So maybe we all need to take a look at ourselves when we say we care about boxing and really think that if we were to watch that event, it were to go ahead on Saturday, what kind of message are we sending to the world about boxing? We're all wrong, really, aren't we? Because we shouldn't be endorsing that fight. Why this is hanging over Conor's head. We want to see Conor be cleared. It was I don't know, it's not looking good for him right now. But we want to see, like, if he's cleared and then reschedule the fight and then let's do things properly. Like the board have put out Matchroom Wasserman have put out a statement saying that the board they're kind of in a battle with the board, but the board have made the right decision. Like I mean, I've heard many things which I'm not going to go deep into because I don't know the facts. I know what I'm being told from reliable people, but I don't think many hands are clean in this situation. Like I don't know, Andy. All I know is that boxing has been a circus for the last, for fights not getting made, and then boxing didn't need this to happen, but it has happened, and it's been a circus. It's been a farce. It should have just been the fight's off. Let's see what happens with. Let Conor Benn have his battles with who he needs to have his battles with now to prove his innocence or whatever it turns out to be. But until then, he can't get in a ring, Andy. He can't. He's not doing himself any favors. He's not doing the fight any favors. Nobody's doing himself any favors.
Yeah,
it's just I don't know, but I'm just but like every fan, I always say this all the time. I'm very fortunate I earn a living out of boxing. I thank my lucky stars every single day. I work hard, but I'm very grateful to it. Yeah. But boxing needs to sort its shit out, Andy. It needs to sort its shit out. It really does. Because everyone's like, oh, VADA's an employed, we employ VADA, we voluntarily employ VADA. It doesn't matter. There isn't, if you're employing an organization to come in and do random tests and then they provide you with a result, what is the point in ignoring in having it if you're going to ignore the result, Andy? It's pinged. He's been pinged. He has been pinged. That's the bottom line. Whether it comes out or not, that it's a mistake. It could be a mistake. Like that is a possibility. It could be a mistake. They could come around and say, "Listen, it was a finding, but we're happy. It was a tiny trace." Or I don't know, because I'm not a fucking drug expert like loads of people on Twitter. Twitter feed is full of testosterone experts. We're not. Do you know what I mean? Let's leave it to the experts. Let's hear what has actually been, how much traces was in his system. Let's hear the facts, and then we can make our judgment from then. But like, it's harsh because it's going to be hard for Conor. Like, it is going to be hard for Conor. Like, it's just, you know how boxing is, Andy, and how quickly people make their decisions, and it's a hard situation. It really is. Nobody wins out of this, by the way. Nobody wins out.
But the undercard's been scrapped as well. People buying hotels, train tickets to go down. Do you know what I mean? It's like
nobody wins out of this. Boxing doesn't win out of this. The promoters don't win out of this. The fighters definitely don't win out of this. Nobody looks good. Nobody wins out of this situation. But the right decision has been made. The right decision has been made. Whether people like that decision or not, whether the promoters like that, the right decision's been made, and sense has finally prevailed.
They've said it's been postponed, so it sounds like once this all gets clear, because we've seen it with the Dillian White and Oscar Rivas situation many years ago. I think it was 2018, maybe 2000.
I used that as an example yesterday. Like, everyone jumped on the thing, but then it got overturned, didn't it? Like, everyone was like, no, Dillian's allowed to continue his career. Like, we're happy with everything. He hasn't cheated. And like, you kind of hope I hope the same thing happens with Conor, but as I say, it's not looking good. It is not looking good, but I don't know.
What do you think's going through Conor's mind? I'll ask you what do you think was going through Chris Eubank, but what do you think's going through Conor's mind right now?
I don't know, Andy, because I've never been in that situation. I don't want to be in that situation. I don't want to be with a fighter in that situation. But like, who knows? Like, he'll be gutted. You can imagine he'll be gutted, because he'll be just thinking, my reputation. That is his reputation is everything in boxing, isn't it? And like, especially when fans are so ruthless like they are in boxing, because like you look at that other sports and stuff, there's nothing more ruthless than Twitter, fans on Twitter. Do you understand what I mean? Like, because they will lay into you.
That's why
I've
I'm
been
off
on the
Twitter, Sam.
receiving end
I
of
am
it.
not.
I've been on the receiving end of shit, and that's on a minor scale. Like, this is like real. I don't know, but like, I just want to know more information. I would like to know more information, but like, you'd like to think not, but I don't know. It's like, if he has cheated, whatever you want to call it, it's more like, why? Like, EUBANK's a big guy. Do I need to like make myself bigger? Like, I don't know, but like, nobody was calling for this fight, Andy. Nobody was putting pressure on Conor to take this fight. This isn't like a Terence Crawford situation with Errol Spence where the fans are on their cases, like, make this fight. You're both in the same weight division. Like, this is a fantasy fight that nobody asked for. It just came out of the blue. We've got it. We're all excited. Now it's being taken away. Do you know what I mean? So it wasn't as if pressure was being put on Conor to go up 2 weight divisions to fight Chris Eubank Jr. So I don't know, mate. I really don't know. But it's sad. I'm sad for everyone involved. I genuinely am. What I don't like as well is that certain other people with like maybe agendas that aren't that are kind of happy because another promoter's kind of show's gone to shit, and like, it's like, oh, it's let's kind of celebrate people's downfall. Like, that's what's fundamentally wrong with boxing. Like, again, I don't know. I could talk about it forever, Andy, but like,
Yeah.
I'm not like academic. I'm not an academic, incredibly intelligent human, but I'd like to think I've got a bit of common sense, and I've got an opinion on boxing. I work in boxing, but it's a hard thing to discuss, Andy. It's a hard thing to discuss because you don't really want to believe that that's happened, because he's one of our promising young stars, isn't he? He was like the next big thing, wasn't he, really, Conor Benn? What he's been building up to be, the biggest, like a big pay-per-view star in this country. But until if he clears his name, or when, or whatever, he's going to be in for a hard time, young Conor.
And like I say, he is young, and I mean, for this to go through his mind, especially a fight of this magnitude and stuff like that. But you said there about you're not an academic and you're common sense, but I think common sense in these situations has to prevail more than just being an intellectual thinker, because, I mean,
how anybody
we know it's in our sport
is mental. If you're mad. If you think anyone thinks this show should morally go ahead, like, is that what I just said on the earlier? We're all hypocrites because we were all going to watch it. Yeah, you were going to watch it. I don't want to speak on your behalf, but I know full well.
I was.
You're a boxing fan, but as I say, morally, the show can't go on, Andy. The show can't go on, and I think we should all, in boxing, we should be aligned in this. We should all be singing off the same hymn sheet that when this thing happens, because it unfortunately happens more than we'd like, there's got to be a united people to say, no, he's failed a drug test, fight's off. And that's why I think boxing does lack an overriding, like, I'm not saying FIFA are the greatest organization because they've been fucking proven not to be, but boxing it's time to bring in an organization that most sports have. Do you understand what I mean? That to govern all of boxing, not just certain areas and certain commissions, to govern the commissions. It's just, otherwise we're just pissing into the wind, aren't we, with boxing? Like, we're making it up as we go along.
I think that's well said, though, Sam, because let's not be naive enough to not think that this sort of stuff that goes in our sport, like, it goes in every sport, whether that be basketball, football, athletics. It's how do we stamp it out, and how do we, I mean, it's all right doing these drug tests, but there's always ways and schemes and to get round it all and stuff.
Like, the first reaction, it was by certain people, like the promoters and stuff, is, oh, VADA's not recognised by the British Boxing Board of Control, so therefore we can do, like, that shouldn't be how it works, guys. Come on, like if somebody fails a test, a drug test, a performance-enhancing drug, the fight's off. Like, we should all just be united in believing this. Or what are we doing? Our sport's a joke. It's a joke, isn't it? Like, if we don't adhere to that, then what are we doing? We may as well just let everyone take whatever they want and just have a free fall.
We hear fighters. Some fighters say that, like, I know I can name a couple of fighters, but I won't. But we've heard fighters say that if you get pinged, banned for life. Do you know what I mean?
That was
where
the
do
case,
you sit on this, Sam? Where do you sit on that? People say 1 year ban, 2 year ban, or ban for life. Where do you sit on it?
What I do believe is that young people, especially, can make mistakes. Yeah, like, well, anybody. Listen, I'll tell you that back. Anybody at any age can make mistakes. Yeah, I've made mistakes. You make mistakes. Everybody is entitled to make mistakes. The reason why it's so sensitive with boxing is that you can be killed in a boxing ring.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no matter whether you want to hear it or not. Yeah, I'm not brave enough to get into a professional boxing ring. Where, as I say, I've had a go, but I'm not. It's, you're putting your life at risk, and for you to take a performance-enhancing drug to get the edge on your opponent on such a dangerous sport, I do believe that there's got to be harsher bans. Like, even if you said, if you take a performance-enhancing drug, you are banned for 5 years. Yeah, there's nothing to discuss, because life bans will never happen. It just won't happen. That's not realistic. I know that probably should be the case, but it's not. But if somebody said, if you take any performance-enhancing drug, yeah, we don't give a shit how it's got into your system, unless you've got an incredible excuse as to why you've done it. Like, maybe there's a slight leeway there, just in case you have got a legitimate reason as to why. And you've got medical grounds as to do it. Like, you saw that the girl, what's her name, from the GB, from the American squad. I don't actually know her name. Is it Ginny?
Oh, I know you. I know who you're talking about. Yeah.
And that, like, we won't go into the reasons as to why she failed a test, but she gave a reason why, and they accepted it because it was a sexual act. Do you know what I mean? So they believed her. But what I'm saying is, if the fighters are told 5 year ban, nothing to discuss, can't appeal it, nothing, 5 years, there's nothing to discuss, people will stop doing it, Andy. People will fear for it and stop doing it, because remember when Canelo got banned? Yeah, I know this is a sore subject, but when Canelo got banned, he got banned for 6 months.
Jarrell Miller as well. Look at Jarrell Miller. A world, like a top level fighter, only fights twice a year anyway, so it wasn't a ban. There was no point in giving him a ban. Jarrell Miller one was a farce. That was a complete farce. Like, he injected everything you can imagine up his arse. Yeah.
So it's like, where do you draw the line? Where do you draw the line? If you say a life ban to somebody, it will stop. Drug cheating will stop. If there is a life ban on the table for anybody that pops, drug cheating stops, doesn't it, Andy? Simple as that, because you've got no fear of getting caught. Like, if you're a young fighter now, a young amateur, and you're seeing Conor Benn be pinged for a test, yeah, for that female hormone tablet, whatever it is.
Clomiphene, I think it's clomiphene.
Yeah. It's a masking, whatever it is, and you're hearing the promoters and everyone and the fighter himself say, "I've not done anything wrong. Or the board of control don't recognise that. It's because VADA's not recognised by the board of control." If you're a young fighter, you're thinking, "Well, fuck me, I can get on it because there's no punishment." Oh, there's a bit of like a, I don't know, bit of a slap on the wrist or something like that, but there's no punishment. It's mental that we've not got a overriding rule in boxing that whether you're in Costa Rica, whether you're in America, whether you're in England, wherever you are in the world, if you're a professional boxer, if you pop, there's no set ban. There's no set ban. It's a joke, isn't it? The fact that we're in 2022 and we've not got rules. It's bollocks. It's total bollocks. It really is. It's like, Oh, listen, I don't want to get boring.
You
I don't want to
mentioned
get
there
boring.
that there's no governing body. I mean, you do have the commissions in the US. You've got Nevada, New York State, Arizona State, Texas.
Yeah, but like,
But
places
they,
like
they,
the Board
they
of
don't come under
Control,
one umbrella, which is why they probably get away with so much here, there, and everywhere.
this is what I'm seeing, Andy. Like the Board of Control, they govern themselves. Do you understand what I mean? Like when, for example, the cattle scoring with Josh Taylor, they're gonna do an investigation. They're investigating themselves, Andy. Do you understand? Do you understand what I mean? Like, we need a third party for everyone. That doesn't go for the British boxing, because the British Boxing Board of Control overall do a great job. They do a great job, especially with like quick reactions to guys getting knocked out. They're the best. They are absolutely. Believe me, I've been all over. They're the best. They really are. But I'm saying that the whole boxing world, all of the commissions need a boss. In my opinion, they need an overriding boss, like a third party commission. Yeah, 100%. Because how can we all sing off the same hymn sheet otherwise? And how's boxing going to get better and safer? I don't know, Andy. It's bollocks. I don't want to get boring. I don't want to bore people, because people start saying, "Ah, Sam, fat, boring wanker," and start leaving weird comments. So we don't want to start doing that. So I'll probably we can unless you've got anything else to ask me.
No,
Andy,
no. Listen, I was going to say
we don't want to bore the loyal.
No, but I think
customers.
generally what you say to bullet point everything you just said there. I mean, what you said is correct. I mean, harsher bans, just get the punishments up there, because it'll stop people. You can't be a young amateur looking at that and saying, "Oh, if he can do that, then I can do it." We need that overriding umbrella, that governing body that governs all the commissions, sort of thing. That one authority. And I believe what you said is everything you said here has been factual as well.
I'll leave it with this.
Hypocrites as well. We're all fucking hypocrites, as you said.
I'll leave it with this. Yeah. Both families, yeah, in this fight know all about things that can go wrong in boxing, yeah. Everyone knows the story of Gerald McLennan, yeah. What happened there? I remember watching that fight live when I was young boy. I remember watching that fight. I remember blinking, and like Michael Watson. Didn't watch that fight. I've seen it obviously, but I was too young to watch that fight. But they know what can go wrong in fights and stuff, and how dangerous fights can be. Imagine something happened to Chris Jr. in that fight. I'm using this as an example because Conor is the one that's failed the test, that's got an adverse finding in his test, whatever you want to fucking call it. Imagine something went wrong with Chris Eubank Jr. in that fight. People are going to have blood on their hands, Andy. Do you understand what I mean? It's serious. It's so serious. Boxing's not football. It's not fucking tennis. It's getting whacked in the head, punched in the head. Heads aren't meant to be designed to be punched in. Do you know what I mean? So we have to take it seriously. Drug cheats, drug bans. We have to take it seriously. But listen, I'm getting too deep. I'm getting boring, and I don't want to do that, Andy. So thanks for having me. I just let people know, Wendy, I don't ask you for interviews. I keep saying this because you know people.
I harassed you.
Andy, and you should see how many people say, "Oh, Sam, we'll ask for interviews." Mate, I don't ask nobody for interviews. Nope. I don't.
I can vouch for that, man. I've got receipts. I've got receipts on WhatsApp, mate. I'm
just a boring, chubby cheek man trying to earn a living.
And man, you're a handsome man trying to earn a living, mate, and you're doing it. So, Sam, listen, do you want to do a little your boxing brawl, your balls and brawl podcast, man? It's a great little
ball and brawl. Like and subscribe, Andy, because I know you've not done it yet.
Yeah, watch this then. Watch this. I was actually listening to your podcast this morning because look, that's it there. Look, that's what's on my YouTube straight away.
Yeah.
Watch, subscribe. See. Done.
Yeah, we're doing well. We're doing well. Yeah, me, Josh Windass, Dave Colwell, give it a listen. Next episode getting filmed very soon.
Excellent stuff, man. Listen, if you need I need a special guest, then hit me up and you can harass me for a change.
Anytime, Andy. Anytime.
Sam, as always, man. Enjoy your evening, mate. I'll speak to you soon, brother.
Yeah,
I'll maybe see you in Liverpool next week.
100%. I'll be there.
Good man. See you then, brother. Bye-bye.
I'm gonna share something with you that might put me in a very negative light. Yeah.
Relationships are not my forte.
See if someone grabbed up my wife or something completely different ballgame.
I'll walk away from it, and this has been like a therapy session.